going out that door. Go over and check out visiblemobile.com. Look at their plans. Look at what they have to offer. If you like it, remember it was us at DeathPiles and Taxes that sent you. You're going to want to use our promo code BBWVQ. They got specials all day long. Just go see what they have, and if it works for you.
Well, great. It's because I have a cell phone and I need to pay less money.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
I had something clever to say, but I magically forgot it. This is the DeathPiles and Taxes show. We are a podcast that's slowly morphing into sports memorabilia and sports cards only talk, but we do try to toe the line when it comes to eBay, online reselling, and taxes. Adam Beasley is here with me. My name is Derek Everett. Adam, how are you, my friend?
I am better than a kid on Christmas morning times 10.
10 kids on Christmas morning tells you a little bit about Adam's life, my friends.
We did our part to multiply and replenish the earth.
And I don't even know why that brings you any joy, but we'll move along. How's eBay been treating you?
You know, eBay's been good. We're shipping a couple things out, and I've been really focusing on filling my wagon.
Well, that's a good thing to do. I remember last year and previous years, the summer slowdown was in full effect about this time of the year, and people were complaining, and it seems like that's not necessarily the case. We've definitely slowed down from what we had a few months ago when people were starting to get their stimulus checks and all that kind of thing. But it seems to still be kind of plugging along. Definitely has slowed down a bit. But
I heard that stimulus money were going out. People were spending it. A lot of firearms were purchased from some insider information that we have. So I think people were doing what they're supposed to. They were stimulating the economy.
I mean, you weren't purchasing firearms on eBay, and you weren't purchasing firearms from me. So
I don't think you can purchase a lot of things on eBay nowadays.
Well, I could purchase anything I've ever wanted.
Well, if I do, or if I say anything about it, I just don't want you sending blood guts to my mailbox.
That's what we need to get into. So eBay's in a little bit of a controversy and
hot water.
A little deep. You got that story somewhere, Adam? Let's go over that. I was listening to the official eBay podcast this morning, and they had some bigwig come on, and they briefly danced around what they were calling the situation, and kind of did an apology, but they didn't really address what happened. It had happened, and I think we should kind of get into it a little bit, just because it's one of those stories where it's pretty unbelievable that this happened. This is a publicly traded company. This is a big household name. Obviously, it wasn't everyone that works at eBay knew about it, but for those of us that are selling and quote unquote partners with eBay, it's just strange. So as Adam brings up some of the details,
cyberbullying is what they're calling it.
Now,
but it's more than that.
eBay kind of got lucky with this COVID. Before COVID, they decided they weren't going to do the eBay meetup that we were going to go to, the
eBay Open.
eBay Open. They decided they weren't going to do it. It turns out that was a great choice on many fronts, because I don't think the big CEOs and head honchos would want to field questions about this all day, or other things that are going on. But let's just kind of get a basic of the story. I know it's pages and pages long, but
Still even looking because they buried it inside the story.
The people that haven't heard about this, it came to light maybe a week or so back, give or take, that eBay had been, they had some, we all deal with trolls on the internet. We all have to deal with trolls as we're selling online. You put something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you're open up to subject to the trolls coming in and tearing you down, telling you what a horrible person you are if you try and sell anything on the indoor yard sale or Facebook Marketplace. That may happen. Well, eBay's not immune to this, and going back to, this is kind of going back to almost the beginning of eBay. Apparently there were some people that were kind of they like to criticize eBay, and
Here we go. I find.
okay, as I was trying to tell the story. No, I should have been prepared.
No, I know that you were digging. The problem is they didn't make it easy.
No, they've done a pretty good job of hiding this story.
So essentially, allegedly, I like to use that word, and I think it's in the right context in this thing.
Yeah, I think we better go alleged on this one.
Legally, allegedly, 6 former eBay employees have been charged with waging an extensive campaign to terrorize and intimidate the editor and publishers of an online newspaper, and threats and disturbing deliveries to their home, including live spiders, cockroaches, federal authorities said on Monday.
So what happened is this newspaper was kind of critical of eBay, said some not so nice things. As I was saying, maybe the internet troll, and now these people didn't take the criticism too well. They were upper management type in eBay, and they just started mailing these people just horrible things. There was something about a fetal pig.
Yeah, and it was like bloody, and they were sending them pornographic magazines to their neighbors, and just all kinds of.
It was like things you'd have done in high school, except for we all learned better.
Yeah.
I remember the most disturbing to me was like how to deal with, how to come to, or something with the grief of losing a spouse.
Yeah.
And so kind of like.
Oh, there you go, right there. A bloody pig mask.
So anyways, not a good look for eBay, not a good look for those of us that sell on eBay, but I think it's something that should be addressed, and eBay should be held accountable for whatever PR hit this is going to take. It's hard enough when you go tell people you sell things on eBay. Now you have to deal with, are you sending cockroaches and intestines to your neighbors that disagree with you?
And they have to understand that was employees of eBay who were, I'm guessing, they haven't said, but I'm guessing that they were direct, I don't know, people that were affected by these bad reviews. I'm guessing that's just my guess.
I'm guessing, yeah, they're higher up. They probably took it, I mean, they obviously took it personal. I guess it shows something to loyalty to your company and that kind of thing, but there's obviously taking things a bit too far, a bit too personal. I think that the best thing with the trolls on the internet is if you ignore them and don't feed them, they go away.
I believe this would be in the good book in the red words. You just turn the other cheek.
I mean,
Turn the other cheek.
who looks, now looking at the story, who's the one that looks bad? Originally, they might have been getting picking on eBay, they might have been a little critical, but right now, this hasn't done you any favors. I don't know if people are going to lose their jobs.
I'm sure that people want to lose.
I'm sure there's going to be a fall guy in it somewhere. So eBay kind of danced around it, like I said on the official podcast of I think we are the #1 eBay podcast, of course, you know, but.
The more mainstream PC.
The one that's actually officially done by them. They just called it The Incident and kind of danced through it.
And they're bought and paid for by eBay. We're independent voices.
So now you can look into that more if you want. It's an interesting story. It will probably be a good Dateline 2020 at some point, or maybe even a movie the way things are going.
It's true.
So if somebody was going to play you in the movie as eBay radio reporter Adam, who would you have playing you?
Well, the hard part is there's a lot of people that are the same thing. Boiling water, that you can't necessarily throw out the wrong actor because I don't even want to go down that road. I just read another story.
The answer's always Brad Pitt.
Okay. Yes.
Brad Pitt.
Denzel Washington.
Sure.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. I
Kevin
can see
Costner,
it.
but I'm not quite that.
Kevin Bacon. Well, I mean, it's an interpretation of what they think you look like.
Fabio.
There you go.
I mean,
You always got to up that game. So
I like that. I was going to say Jimmy Kimmel, but
that's well, you can do Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know. Are you on boogers yet, Adam? Following up with last week's podcast.
I re-listened to it. I'm not on Boogers. I'm not listening. If you don't know, Boogers is a website that helps you buy ticket stubs.
It's a Facebook group.
Okay.
That they just buy ticket stubs. Not new. So when I heard it, it sounded like people that are buying new tickets. This is people that are buying old tickets from things that have already happened. Collecting history.
I wasn't even getting into that to talking about Boogers. We're just at the shop with Dale and Todd, and Todd opens up the safe, and he pulls out a stack of ticket stubs about 3 inches tall.
What do you got?
Oh, he had every concert you could ever think of going back to the mid-70s.
Those could be worth a lot of money.
Every
depending on who you
single
have.
concert, he had Rolling Stone, he had Styx, he had
Well,
Kiss.
I'll show you after. There's a population report and graded tickets. So.
I could not believe it. Which first thing my mind went to was boogers.
Was the boogers
So
getting
that's
graded?
why-
Maybe he has some old Rolling Stones, maybe a Led Zeppelin
He
in
does
there.
have Stones. He does have Led Zeppelin. I know that because I'm like, dude, those could be worth money.
Maybe I need to go pay a visit and bring out some
The
dollars.
cool part is it told you the price of it.
Not much.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be like, Rolling Stones, $8. I'm like, I can't believe I paid $8 for that in 1982.
Gladly. Now you're
Yeah,
on 800.
You know, exactly. So
Oh.
it was definitely. I'm glad you brought that up because again, it enlightened my mind and it was able to. Put
That's the
something
thing.
else
There's
in.
opportunities everywhere. I was talking to my dad over this Father's Day weekend, and he was saying he had some somewhere in his vastness. He thinks that he might have a ticket from a New York Mets game where Pete Rose hit some home run that was some certain number. I said, well, if you have that ticket, that could be worth a lot because those kind of achievements. I don't remember which home run it was,
Some
but
certain hint or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
I will have to say, I've just got to bring in one little hint and I'll get rid of it. I'm distracted.
Breaking news: we're doing a podcast, we're recording, and Adam's distracted.
I found something on the Facebook Marketplace. I've never really rolled the dice on something this large, but somebody said, I've got a collection. It was my dad. There's probably 15,000 cards in here. I don't know what it's worth. Saw a couple pages of it, what it looked like. They're all in binders, all in sleeves, and I rolled the dice. There's 22 binders.
Well, let's go down the whole rabbit hole of soup to nuts, as they would say. So you're scrolling around on Facebook, and what initially what pops you? What gets your attention? Because there's a lot of things out there.
So I guess that is a good question. It's a good point. Is Facebook Marketplace is a great place to source. It's a great place to find not only source but things that you need. Let's be honest. Most things that we have nowadays, they don't have to be brand new. I mean, I'm still one for buying new underwear and socks. I mean, that's
Call you old fashioned.
kind of call me old fashioned. But most things, I mean, now they're retro clothes. Now they're jeans. I mean, people buy sneakers. I mean, I still go buy my good running sneakers from Walmart for $10. But
Speaking of sneakers, second half of the show, I got some deep dive to go into.
deep dive sneaker talk, good. But most things, like I said, you can find resold and know what they are. So I like to get on there, and that's what I usually do at night. And just kind of scroll through, looking for walking up and down the virtual aisles.
And the thing with the Facebook Marketplace is it kind of finds an algorithm, so it starts to show you things that you've clicked on or that you're interested in, and so or that you're selling. It kind of picks up what you're into.
Yeah, it likes what you like. You know, if you're looking at sports cards, it'll pull up sports cards. You like, Pokemon, or you like construction tools, anything like that. It pulls up a good idea of what you're looking for.
So you're looking around, and what's kind of the basis of what caught you? What caught your eye? This is good for people that are listing things to kind of learn, what popped to you that made you think, hey, I'm interested in this.
I will pull it up right now so I can tell you, so that we don't have to ad lib.
Okay, because when you're trying to write a title, a description, we're all about eBay, but we're also about selling. Facebook Marketplace is a great place.
So it says, here's the exact listing. It says enormous baseball card collection, and it had in parentheses and this cool little tilde thing, but not quite a tilde. 15,000 cards, mostly star players, mint or near mint condition.
Okay, and then it's got it's got a pretty good title.
Yeah,
It tells you there's a lot of numbers, and then the picture is just a lot of.
It's overwhelming. I mean, you look at it and say that's a lot of cards. I mean, this is the one. I mean, you can it's got a bunch of Frank Thomas rookies. It's got Nolan Ryan, a bunch of Ken Griffey Jr. So it's not just like pulling up some guy that nobody's heard of.
And so you're not thinking that you're going to meet this guy at the parking lot of the Cabela's like our last experience.
Yes. So you kind of have an idea of what you're looking for, and it really is interesting. And that's what kind of got me to pull the trigger. Is over the last week, I went through re-went through my stack of cards, because when I first got into it, I looked at it, and you don't know what you're looking for. Even the first time when you go through something, you might not know until you get some knowledge 6 months later. And I went through and I pulled out a whole bunch of things that at the time I didn't know had potential value, but now they do.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I did. Is when I'm on the marketplace, I'm always looking for something that I believe could have value or future value.
And you're looking for future value mainly to flip. You're not keeping none of this is personal collection stuff here.
I'm sure I'll keep one of these George Herman Ruth cards, Babe Ruth cards. I'll keep in my collection.
Okay.
That'll be in the PC, the personal.
The personal collection, but for the most part, these are all going to be for sale.
Yeah.
You're going to individualize them out and grade some, sell some.
Yeah, and the guy wrote a really good, 22 binders full of things, sleeved, sorted players, named off the hits, McGuire, Griffey Jr. Done a little bit of research. They don't really know, which they were honest. And he says, if it isn't $1 for the entire collection, please make me an offer.
Okay, so what was your next step in contacting these people?
So I looked at it and I took a little bit of time, because I'd kind of already done some research and I just sent him I sent him a conversation. I'm reading it right now. I says, will you take $400? I will take $400. Are you available to pick them up in this city? And I said, yeah.
So you just went straight for the chase.
Yeah.
You say, hey, I'm interested in your stuff. Hey, it looks good.
I did it all and I looked at it and I'm kind of, I'm a cut to the point kind of guy. I get it, the dinkering around, but I like to just come in lowball, bottom. If I paid this, I'd be happy. And yeah, I could come back and say, well, he took it so fast, maybe I should have said 400 or 300, but who knows? I mean, I felt comfortable because just the binders alone, because I've recently bought some with that many sleeves, just a blank binder like that costs about $12 plus a sleeve. A blank binder costs about $20.
So you did some quick math.
Yeah.
You figured at worst case you can break even.
Yeah.
I mean, worst
With
case.
just the binders. That's just saying I'm buying binders and no cards. And I knew I could get out of what I want to because, again, this is what we talk about is, okay, are you buying something to quick flip it or are you going to take the time to, restore it? Just like what anybody else does with, I know a lot of people do it with furniture. You can find furniture at a used furniture at a good price. You bring it in. You clean it up, you repaint it, you get it ready, and then instead of, buying it for 10, selling it for 50, you can buy it for 15, put maybe $15 of lacquer and some hard work into it, now you can sell it for $250.
Yeah, and people do it with cars, people do it with furniture. Never really thought about it that way. People do it with video game systems, you just kind of clean them up and you flip them, and we're kind of do the same thing with cards.
Yeah. We're very big into the get them graded and then ship them out. And like I said, I am preparing right now for a big Christmas.
And I'm thinking there's certain things going down on Christmas with baseball cards and certain players, and he's getting that wagon ready to be full.
I am getting ready to have a lot of sales. Again, I know it sounds weird. We're 6 months out, but it takes that long. And I want to be prepared. I want to be there. I want to be looking at it. As sports comes back into play, a lot of these values are going to go up and down. For me, again, it's a super easy thing to source, and it's something I like. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I still haven't gone to a thrift store. Have you gone back to a thrift store?
I have not. I was talking with, I don't even know, friend of the program or member of the program, Mike Painter, and he wants to get back up with thrift stores too. And I said, I haven't went in, but I've seen some cool things on a lot of the groups. I've listed the other day. On a Goodwill in Pennsylvania or something, there was the Blind Melon quadruple platinum record. Did you see that?
Is this the Bob Felt action figure?
No, I don't.
Holy Grail, 225,000.
Oh, that's Boba Fett.
Yes.
You said Bob Hope.
I thought he said. I don't know. He said, everybody loves Bob Hope.
Yeah, but I mean, his action figure. I didn't. If he has one, it's probably not going for. No, that was some Star Wars figure that Jimmy Cheapy Pants, who's a friend of the show as well, is showing. That's what we're saying. Our friends keep sending us all these things, but now Mr. Painter was saying that he hasn't been back. He wanted to get listed a little more, and I've seen some cool things come out, but I haven't. But I mean, half my thing is I got plenty of stuff to keep listing. I've been going through the Jerry Sloan stuff. I'm going to get more into that in the second half of the show with some return stuff with the shoes.
That's a big second half of the show already.
Well, that's the same story, but I'm teasing it twice and naming something different. So, but and the guys coming back that still actually went through.
Good.
So that was ended up being a good experience, and he's wanting some more things. So I'm trying to
Pelican told it right.
get some of this other stuff in order. So I mean, I got a lot to do. My wagon's kind of full. I just need to organize it better. But no, I'm thinking thrift stores with what I'm seeing. Yeah, you gotta be careful, but I'm thinking if you're willing to do a little digging,
Yeah.
I know there's treasure there because I've been seeing the stuff that people have been pulling out of this. I mean, just random thrift stores across the country. Again, you gotta know what you're looking for, probably, because I think it can be a bit overwhelming when you're gonna have piles and piles. But if you're into art, like we talked about, go to the art section. Paint by number stuff sell. It's just amazing what sells.
What
If you're
did you say?
those paint by numbers, some of those old paint by numbers things, people are looking for ones that have been painted. I don't know, but do your research. I guess is what I'm saying. If you're into the books, I know a lot of people are into reselling books.
Yeah.
You go scan all day long. You go over the case. If you're into T-shirts, I'm really into shirts, but I haven't hit it up. But you have even you have the old concert shirts. You have the old the preppier looking shirts, whatever you want to call it. You have the sports. There's just so much. So
I know a lot of people are into selling kitchenware, Tupperware, the old type of stuff.
Tupperware knives, like the Ginsu knives or whatever. The mid-century modern, as we learned from our friend Suzanne.
Yes.
There's trash cans out there that are mid-century modern that go for $100. So.
Yes.
And if that's what the trash cans are going for, imagine what the tables and some of the more I don't know, delicate pieces are going for.
Well, it's a lot going on. I mean, I do want to bring up something because you're always, I would say, judgmental of the place that we live in, that we broadcast from. Can you see the plethora of people walking down the street?
Oh, the stabby part.
Can you see the plethora of people? Do you know what they're doing down Main Street?
I've drove down it. I went live with it. I came over here and saw if you were at work the other day going live as I went down Main Street, and you weren't.
It was on a Saturday.
It was a Sunday, but he was taking notes.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not here, but
Or maybe it was a Saturday. You should still be working.
Hallmark special movie coming to Payson Main Street.
Yeah, but Aunt Becky's in jail, so who's playing the part?
Aunt Becky is not in this film. Lori Loughlin is not going to be.
Hey, here's a secret. You know our buddy Waddy? I don't know if I've ever brought this up. He's not too happy when I do.
Okay, what did Waddy do?
He was in a feature film, and he was the star. It was a classic. I think it's called Somebody's Missing, or something like that. And it was filmed a portion on this main street over here. And if ever we get to the point where we can bring him in and we'll get a big inflatable thing out in the parking lot, we'd have to have enough listeners to fund this. But he said that he would come and do a commentary where we'll play it on the big screen, and he can say,
He'd walk through the movie.
he'd go through it with us. So we're gonna need, probably about 10 times the listenership that we got now. So tell a friend if you enjoy this podcast or if you want that experience to happen. But Ben Watson himself started a movie.
Wow.
Somebody was watching, I think, or someone was watching. I own it on DVD. Somehow I learned about it. He wasn't really happy when I did learn about it.
I will. You do say.
But it's a fine film with your kids. You'd love it.
I mean, there's dozens of movies.
They're filming a Christmas special.
Yeah, it's Christmas in June.
And they got snow down on the ground.
People are making snow right now.
And they got
They got the
people.
fire hose, and they're spraying snow over the white cascade.
Well, I kind of forgot when I came in, and I came driving down Main Street in my golden Prius, and it looks like they're filming, so I slowed down a little bit, hoping to get some,
Hoping to get in the picture.
just a little bit. And then I thought, well, without Aunt Becky, what's going to happen anyways?
This is not a DJ show. Candace Cameron. She was in a show here, featured.
Well, this is
about
like
2
the
years
this
ago.
is like the Hallmark Christmas movie capital of the world.
The Main Street Payson, not the stabby part like there.
Not the stabby part of Payson, but if you were to Google what's going on in Payson, there's been some sketchy things.
It's because of the fire department. These fine men and women across the street take care of so many people that they're busy, and we just happen to hear it because we're right across the street.
Well, I mean, I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree on a little bit, but it is Christmas Town, USA. I am happy about that.
I will throw in that it used to be across the street. There used to be the post office, but it burned down.
Yep.
I'm not gonna.
Arson.
I'm not gonna say who was
yeah,
working
yeah.
that day.
I'm just going to say, when you go for your nice little walk at night, do you go around these parts of towns, or do you go around your house in your neighborhood?
Well, this is
A whole town over.
I will say this. We did get a new grocery store in the town we live in, and I have.
By new, he means a grocery store. We got a grocery store.
We had Ivan's Market before.
We did, okay.
if you want to get technical.
if we want to get technical.
And I could buy milk and bread at the gas station.
Ivan's Market, I'd go and I'd buy things that were Kirkland brand that Ivan had bought from Costco and decide to resell.
Okay, all right, I guess that's...
Which I get it. I bought that gallon of milk and I thought, good for him. He's just doing what I do on the podcast. He's just doing it in real life down there.
So a regular grocery store that has a deli, a bakery, and I've walked there every day. I've been trying to get healthy. I did have a couple of yawns here, which is my own fault. I'm still looking for that natural boost. I have been off the Diet Dr. Mountain Dews for...
He needs a little cocaine.
30 days. 30 days, and I'm feeling it.
How long of a walk is that?
It's 1.25 miles.
Not bad.
Downhill, except it's uphill back up.
Do you go now? The first time you told me you had a car waiting for you that you walked
Oh, last night we walked both ways.
uphill, going back. That's tough.
Yeah, down and then back up.
How long does that take you?
It took about an hour. See, the nice part is when I make the walk, I treat myself to an ice cream cone.
You earned it.
The mini cone.
Sure.
So that's what we had last night.
You mix up the flavor, or you
No,
just
straight chocolate.
okay?
Straight chocolate. I don't even have to take a lactate pill. It's only about that big, so.
Yeah, good on you, man. Well,
just a small smidgen of it. So.
let's hit a break. Are we at break time?
Yeah, I gotta open a window or
It's getting a little hot.
It's getting a little warm.
A little hot in here, a lot of hot air.
A lot of
Adam, our friends over at Cellhound have outdone themselves. They're giving the DeathPiles and Taxes listeners an opportunity of a lifetime.
They're going to help us make some money, get rid of that death pile, get your items listed because you can't sell out of an empty wagon.
Man, sell all that you got, kill that death pile. When you go over to Cellhound and use promo code, capital letters, DeathPiles25 to save 25% off of their service.
And get out there and start making some money. There's a reason we call this the Death Piles and Taxes podcast.
Well, why do we call that, Adam?
Because for the rest of your life, and even the year that you die, you have to file your taxes.
Well, I got a guy that does that for me.
That's right, because here at Adam Up Accounting, that's what we do. We take care of taxes. We're very familiar with online retailers. Even if you're listening because you enjoy the sultry sounds of Derek Everett, we will take care of your taxes. Check us out online, adamupaccounting.com. The social medias, we will help make sure that you file your taxes timely and enjoy the process. Wonderful commercials. Love that Adam Up Accounting. It sounds like the Death Piles and taxes part isn't getting publicity out there.
What do you mean by that?
Well, apparently we got some big players in the eBay business who are paying a lot of money in taxes.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring you to the forefront.
You just tagged me in the thrifter and reseller world, and Casey Parrish, he's the big boy. He's in a lot of YouTube videos, and he just posted he's paying a lot of money, close to, it's on the internet, so we could say it, like $29,000. And I'm sure he is making a ton of money, but there's a lot of things that I would do to make sure that number is lower.
Let's have just a quick speculation.
Well, here's the thing: is nobody likes taxes. I get it; they're boring. But the one day it matters is when you go to push that button to pay those taxes.
Well, we're gonna. I have some more tax talk, believe it or not, for you coming up.
Wow.
But let's say about $30,000 in taxes. Just rounding up for the smart kids that sat in the back of the bus in class, and my people. I know he lives in the state of Florida, so I know there's some no income tax. There's some things there.
There's no state tax in Florida.
Speculating, we don't know if that's annually or quarterly, but what, give or take, rough estimate would that bill look like if you're paying $30,000 in taxes? I know you're writing things off. I know there's a lot of variables, but what's that guy pulling in roughly?
Well, that's a great question, and this is one of the big things why I talk about it. As you get into the game, it all depends on how much money you make. I'm not saying, I'm guessing, I hope that he's an S corporation. And the reason it would be is he'd save a lot of money in self-employment tax. Because if he didn't have an S corporation, he's paying, my guess, $15,000 just in self-employment tax, and then he's also paying income tax. So if that's the case, if that's the way that he's set up, which I could save almost 10K right off the bat, he's saying we're having $15,000 of just regular federal income tax, because $15,000 is self-employment tax. We're talking upwards, we're probably talking close into the, I don't know, 175 range. My guess, because of that dollar amount, he probably is paying self-employment, which I hope that's not the case. Because even if he is an S corporation and he's paying $30,000 in taxes, he's probably bringing in closer to 200 to 250-ish, around that number. But there's still a lot of things we could do to lower it.
And we know Casey, he has a Facebook group. I know he has like a reselling program that he teaches people. He's got the YouTube, so he's got multiple streams of businesses and income. Just ballpark figure out there. If you're a reseller, listen to us right now. You just heard it on the commercial. You just heard Adam speak about it. But if you're paying taxes, you're probably paying a little too much. Or even if you just want to find out, I mean, Adam's pretty high pressure, pretty high salesman, so I get it. But you can tell from here when he's trying to defend Lori Loughlin being on Pace Main Street eating at the what's that place called where you eat your pineapple thing?
El Tapatio.
Eating at El Tapatio, and anyway. You could give Adam a call or just text him or send him an email, tell him the situation, chat with him, not text him, I guess, and they'll take care of you, man. Adam Up County does a good job.
I don't know, and who knows? Like I said, this is just somebody posting this out there, which is great. You know, who knows the things? But if you're making that kind of money, this is the same thing I tell everybody. In this kind of a situation, if you're not putting money towards retirement, you're throwing dollars and cents away. Okay, and what I mean by that is, by these numbers, I'm guessing minimum 22, probably closer to the 27% tax bracket. And that's probably also, because he doesn't have state income, that's lower than, you know, anyone else in the state of Utah or California. So in that instance alone, if he were to take $10,000 and put it into, because he has all of this income, you put it in a SEP IRA, he would be able to save himself $2,700.
I sent the man a message. I'm getting in trouble in some of the groups where I used to promote us a lot more. Now I'm getting in trouble for promoting, and I don't wind up in Facebook jail, so I can't buy things off the internet. So I'm toning back a little bit, but we appreciate it. If you like this, give us a share, give us a like, listen, all that kind of stuff.
There's just so many ways that, and again, that's why people are great at what they do, but this is what I'm really good at. What I talked to the lady that, I worked about 600 personal income tax returns this year. And I've done them for years and years and years. And as things evolve, I make sure I bring up, different instances. Because when you're making money, you are absolutely able to write off expenses.
And it doesn't hurt to ask. It's just like when we're getting insurance or refi the house or whatever, get you another quote if you think you're paying too much on your taxes or you're doing them yourself. If not Adam, find you a good accountant that will do it for you, because it will save you time and money.
Absolutely. So there goes the boring taxes. It is tax time.
Here's more tax time.
Oh boy, man, I feel important.
So I think we talked about it on the show. I don't remember the hidden treasure of the guy's name was Finn. I can't remember his last name.
Huckleberry Finn.
No, there's a man he was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he put together a treasure chest.
Okay.
And he went and he hid it.
All right.
And this has been like 10 years ago or so. And he wrote a poem. He wrote a book that had clues to how to find the hidden treasure, right?
Is Johnny Depp involved in this?
This is a true story. Oh, this is a true story. Forrest Finn, that's the man's name. I thought we talked about this, but maybe not. So he's kind of a eccentric man, but he had a bunch of money. He's one of these guys that just has a bunch of money, a bunch of things, collected jewelry.
Like you.
Had a business, kind of like me. As if I'd hid Jerry's jockstrap out in the mountains with a poem on how to find it or something like that, right?
Like geocaching.
So yeah, it's like geocaching. They want people to get more outdoors. He wanted them to experience things. So he wrote this kind of a poem telling how to find his hidden treasure. And people have been looking for years and years and years. Well, somebody allegedly found his treasure. He said that somebody's found the treasure.
Wow.
There's no pictures yet. I'm wanting the evidence. My wife, I brought this up the other day. My wife says, wait a minute, you'll defend UFOs, Bigfoot, all this crap, that you believe in or say whatever, but this story has you all like sorts of conspiracy theories not believing it. I said, well, there's good evidence for those first two. I need some evidence for this, for a spin story. So, anyways, guy found a treasure chest and it was full of like, rubies and gems and gold that this guy had hid, right?
Yes.
Which is really cool. Like, if this really did happen, which everything seems like it did, that's a really cool thing to do, and the guys decided to be anonymous. I'm guessing there was probably some note in the thing that said contact Forrest at this number, or send some message or something so he knows that you found it.
Okay.
Somehow that's happened.
Okay.
Well, got talking with the family and things about it. Now, we think part of the reason it's staying anonymous is, one, you don't have people coming to rob you, obviously, or you have all this stuff. Two is probably for tax purposes. Now, if you were to find a box of hidden treasure out in the wilderness, per se, what's the tax? How's this work? Break it down for us, man. We're treasure hunters of a different sort, but this is just such a unique story that I had to bring it to Adam.
This is a great question, because part of this formal education that I got that took me forever, it cost way too much money at Utah Valley University, which out of all the classes I had, you were by far the greatest speaker there. So
hey, there you go. Checks in the mail.
Good. I could use another check. Anyway, we got into this period in one of my tax classes, and this was right during, just shortly after the Barry Bonds. He was trying to break Hank Aaron's record for the number of home runs, and this is before we knew about the steroid stuff.
Yeah, no one saw that at all. You can't tell.
Exactly. The guy was, $175 soaking wet, and then he turned into 260. Anyways.
It happens. All natural.
In my class, we had countless discussions about this same kind of an instance, about a person who might have caught that ball, number 756, that would be the record breaker, and then the value of said ball, and then how much tax consequence they would have if they had to shift and trade or sell said ball. So that is a great question. And again, it goes into the arbitrary, what is this treasure worth, and what is it at the time that you sell it? What I mean by that is items that you find really don't have a taxable consequences until it's actually sold. So if I got said baseball ball from Barry Bonds, or I found said treasure in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't really have a taxable consequence until the time I sell it or receive other goods for that item. So if you're out in the desert and you find this treasure chest full of gold doubloons and whatever you want to call it, jewelry, and you took that jewelry to a pawn shop and traded it for, I don't know, a new bike or a firearm or construction, at that time there becomes a taxable consequence. Does that make sense?
Okay, so not until you trade and or sell and get money. So if I was to go out and find it and just keep it in the garage, no taxes necessary.
Because we don't know what it's worth. Like what you say it's worth and what I say it's worth is 800 different things, and there's no basis that's reported to the IRS, i.e. in the situation of you bought stock in WWE. Then I know specifically this was the buy price that I had. Your buy price for finding all of this treasure is zero because you didn't really pay anything for it.
Well, you had gas and time to go hunt down this treasure.
Which would be an expense when you sell that item.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of off the beaten path, but our people are treasure hunters of a different sort.
We are, and that's the same thing that, okay, we need to make sure that we're hitting the right buttons, the right things. There's a lot to know, and it's a slippery slope.
Slippery, easy for you to say slope.
I'm taking care of an audit right now for a client that I'm representing. I did not do their tax return. They had somebody else do it, and instantaneously there were some red flags that I saw, but then there's also some items that the IRS is asking for. It's a $40,000. That's what they want. The IRS wants 40 grand. And I looked at it and said, no. Worst case scenario, I think they might owe about 5. They've hired me to represent them, and I'm doing that. And I'm pumped because I know more about it than the IRS agent. A lot of them are rookies, which doesn't matter. My job is to help educate them. Because that's what it is. I do everything that I can within the legal limit of saying, this is what should be happening. Here's the responsibilities. Here's what I need to give you. This proves this. This is why we owe this.
So when you go in and you save somebody potentially $35,000, do you take just a commission cut off what you save, or do you have a base rate?
No, on the representation that I have, I usually have a base rate that I charge them an upfront retainer, and that is what it is. And like I said, I'm very diligent. And not the unfortunate thing, but the thing that people have to understand is this is a year from now when this will be resolved. It is not a quick flip. The IRS does not, they move at colossal speed.
Colossal, huh?
Like a sloth backwards.
Okay.
And it just takes time. And
I'm all about a slow dime, but they're more like a slow 50-cent piece.
Exactly. And they're in no hurry to do it. And unfortunately, sometimes case after case will roll through hands. And honestly, they're just hoping that you pay it, because a lot of people get anxious. They have bad anxiety because they can't sleep that they owe the IRS $40,000 when they really don't, but they don't know that. So that's the IRS in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's enough IRS talk. It was just one of those things that it comes up from time to time, and I think, well, I know the man to ask that question to, and that man sits across the desk from me weekly, so I bring those hard-hitting action questions.
So,
I need to get into something here.
yeah.
So I sold my John Stockton Dream Team shoes to a man that was from Louisiana,
Good.
and they went for a good sum of money. I think we were at $1,200 or $1,400. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but I think it was 14. It might have been 12. I have a lot of numbers going. So I was, happier than our friend Pelican on Promenade Morning.
What?
Just I was happy.
Okay.
I was trying to come up with something better than, a frog hair split 4 ways.
Yes.
Or something like that, the old folks sayings. So I was pretty happy. Finer than a frog hair split 4 ways, sorry. But, so I have this package from my dad that was padded. I mean, it was padded, beyond belief padded, because it shipped, I believe they shipped glass vials for vaccinating livestock.
Okay.
So it was very, very padded, very, very, very padded. And the reason I say this is because it was very, very, very padded.
Yeah.
So I put these shoes, and they were delicate. They were kind of crumbly a little bit, and I let it be known that, hey, these are in kind of rough shape. But I packaged them as if, as our other friend Mike Painter said, the cure for COVID was installed right there in that box.
Yeah.
So I packaged them up, and I sent them on their way. Priority, signature required, all that kind of stuff. Insured them. And when I go to insure them, I have to go through the USPS because the Ship Saver, which is another insurance agent that we use on eBay for selling, wouldn't insure over $1,000. So I went the extra mile, and I insured it for the full fare. And I mean, that cost, I don't remember what it cost, but it was a chunk of money
Okay.
to do all this. So I get a letter back from eBay a couple days later from this gentleman saying, hey, these shoes arrived, they're damaged. I want to return them. I had some pictures. The sole's kind of crumbling out of them. My heart sank. I mean, I'm like seeing just money just gone, and as we said to the meth head a few episodes back, that's a lot of money in my house.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when we're talking for a pair of shoes. Not only that, but I mean, it's history. It's a pair of Dream Team shoes worn by John Stockton that I have from Jerry Sloan, so there's the whole lineage there, the whole line. And I'm like, oh, that's not good, man. And he was like, well, they weren't packaged that good. I said, well, take pictures of everything. Take pictures of the shoes, take pictures of the box, take pictures of everything. And he did. And I mean, they were how I had them bubble wrapped around them, and then like padding, I can't emphasize how much padding was in this box. I mean, just like, it's almost like insulation, but it wasn't insulation foam, but just foam padding, like feet of padding, and it was in between them. Probably a foot and a half on top, foot and a half on the bottom, and around the side. So when he was saying that, I was like, well, whatever, dude, like, do what you're gonna do. In the back of my head, I'm like, I hope he just doesn't send them back. I hope he's just trying to get a partial refund. I'm hoping, even though eBay's changed the return policy, that he just keeps them and I somehow get my money, or keep my money. But in the back of my head too, I said, okay, I need to open a claim with USPS, which is never a fun process. It's not something we've talked about a whole lot on the show, so that's kind of why I'm going down this road.
Yeah.
So I go to the website, and it's a pretty simple form they have to fill out. And I mean, you kind of put your name, your address, so on and so forth, who you shipped them to. They ask you for proof of value.
How do you prove it? Do you need another like sports?
Maybe that's where I'm going, right? Well, my proof of value is I have my receipt from eBay. I have my receipt from the auction that I bought them at. I have my receipt from selling them on eBay. I have my PayPal transaction. A lot of screenshots of this is what's been paid.
Yeah.
Here's the value. Send all that over. I sent value. I sent pictures because I had lots of pictures of the shoe before. Sent a bunch of those pictures over. The proof of damage. They want proof of damage, so I'm taking pictures of what he had sent me with the shoe over, right?
Okay.
So put all that package together. It didn't want to play well. They didn't make it exactly easy because it's the post office, and you put how much that you're looking to recoup on this, and you send that off, and they open an investigation. I let the guy know. I said, "Hey, man, we're doing a USPS claim here. I need all the pictures of the box, and everything." In the meantime, he returns the shoes. And he did not package them that well at all, but it's kind of nice that they're in my possession for what's coming up next.
Yeah.
So they've crumbled beyond even so bad.
How old are the shoes?
92.
Okay.
Right? Wasn't that Olympic Dream Team?
Yes.
92. Yeah.
Okay.
But they sat out in Jerry Sloan's barn,
Yeah.
uncovered, untreated.
So what do you
for
think's going to
decades.
happen?
Well, here's what I'm hoping happens. So then I get another envelope from the post office that says you need to bring these in for an inspection.
What?
And we need to look at them. And I can see we're dealing with a large sum of money. They're probably hoping it's not fraud, right?
Yeah.
So I go down to our local post office yesterday, and ladies are nice or whatever. And I've had my past with them,
Yeah.
but I think we're on good terms.
Depends on how this next.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. So I kind of tell them, and they had no clue what was going on. And so I kind of break it down for them. I said, no, this is what happened. Here's the letter, and then they went and got a more senior official, and she came back and she's like, oh, okay, well, we can leave him for the guy. When he comes in, he'll call you. Our postmaster guy has to look at him. I said, I'm cool with that. If you want to leave him, I said, I'm good with it, but we're going to sign a piece of paper saying I left him.
Yeah. We're
going to date and stamp it because I have 90 days to do this process.
Yeah.
And the lady goes, if you don't mind me asking, how much are we talking here? And I said, $1,400. Her jaw dropped. And she said, are you sure you want to leave them? And I'm thinking, well, in this state, I'm not going to tell you this, but they're not worth that now, obviously. They're they look just, it's just wretched how they look.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, that's fine. I don't want to come back and try to find him and meet up time. And then she goes, so you sold them, they sent it back to you? I said, yeah. And she was looking at it, and she goes, and this was the package? I said, yeah. And she says, this is how you packaged it. I was like, yeah. She goes, there's no way this happened. There's no way. This is well packaged. And I said, well, make sure he writes this in this report that he's doing. And which made me feel a little better,
So where do you? I mean, this.
So then on the eBay side, so now I'm just waiting for them to get back to me and tell me. The eBay side, the guy opens the return, right? I get it, and I selected. Item came back, and it came back damaged, worse than the pictures he took. And so I had to write my little summary of, hey, I don't mind giving back some money or whatever, but here's the pictures of when I sent it, when he got it claimed, and when I got it back. And this is beyond repair, beyond being able to just go in there and where do you take these to get them fixed? Not too much detail, but yeah. So if you follow me on Instagram, there are pictures because I'm looking for a miracle worker out there that can fix these. But yeah, that was kind of the thing with eBay. So it's up in the air there. I don't want to give a full return because I don't think that it was packaged well coming back. How can you recoup that? And the sucky part is at best case I'm going to break even on this. And that's the game we play. I've sent thousands of packages. Of course, this is the most expensive one probably that I've ever sent. And so that's the game we play. But that's hoping that the USPS says this is damaged and sends me back the check, right? So that I can break even. And then eBay's going to get involved on their side. There's shoe cobblers. Well, I'm hoping. Here's my dream is that there's somebody that can put on a new bottom, and even though they'd be refurbished, so to speak, I could go and get them. Because I was going to send them in anyways and get them not appraised, but get them authorized. So if I could get a shoe, the word shoe cobbler makes me laugh because of a joke my painter tells that we'll have him tell next time he's in town. It's a long story there. But somebody that specializes in that, because the leather's still good. If they could just put that on a new sole.
I want to tell you something.
Yeah, break it to me.
First off, I just looked at the pictures, and that really stinks. And I hope that somehow you don't lose it on this one. I was actually at the sewing establishment in the last week. I've been trying things that got crazy at the wheelchair company, getting some things embroidered, and I might in the near future be buying a shoemaker sewing machine.
Are you learning how to sew?
Yes, I'm hoping not to have to learn how to, but because we've been so backlogged, it's taken a little bit more time, costs a little bit of money, we made a suggestion of, why don't we just buy our own machine and do it ourselves?
There you go.
So, this is getting nerdy with it. I mean, this is going down a deep, dark hole that I never thought I'd get down, but sewing machines only have such a big neck. What I mean by that is you can't get a huge piece of leather, like a curved piece, around it because the opening is only so big. And our wheelchair covers have like a pocket on it that you need to inside out flip it, but you can't pull it around because the neck is too close. But a shoe maker, shoe cobbler's sewing machine,
That's fun to say.
the neck is much larger, so with that you can totally circle it all the way around.
Well, do you know any good shoe cobblers around? Because I've sent a few things online, and I'm waiting for people to get back. I'm sure they're just.
I've got it in my blood. Ebenezer, he was a shoemaker / musician.
Well, I'm looking at. I reached out to Nike. Here's the thing with the social media: you need people behind you to kind of get pushing for things to happen.
Yes.
I got a direct message from Nike because I sent over. I said, "Is there any way? I know it's going to some kid's desk that isn't in charge, and they're like, oh, we don't really do that kind of thing." But I'm like, this is something else,
This is nostalgia.
I don't know how much I'd have to pay, but I'd be willing to pay whatever that number is, probably,
Yeah.
just to get some new. So if you haven't seen it, or whatever, the soles just dried out and have just crumbled like cake or
It's
cookie,
awful.
and it's just horrible. But the leather part and the signature stuff still in good shape. But as of it sits right now, it's sitting at the desk of our local
Post office.
post office general, and I need him to just say it was damaged and give me my money. But even at that, like I said before, that's the crappy part. Is best case scenario at this point. I'm looking to break even, but I can't resell that as that condition.
Yeah.
Or definitely not for as much. I could probably get something for a Stockton autograph, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's
It's a sad day.
that's a problem.
And so I'll be working on that as we go. I know people paint, clean up, and stuff, but on restoring shoes, like we've talked about restoring other things. So I'm reaching out to some of these companies and saying, I don't care if you glue on a different whatever, paint it. We'll see.
We'd like to get some shoes restored. I know this.
So if any of our listeners are into the shoe game, the sneakerheads out there,
Let me call them something else.
sneakerheads.
I thought there was another term for it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not cool enough, but
Go on your TikTok and find out.
which, I'll throw this in here. We'll talk maybe. We made it to the front page of Reddit.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know much about Reddit, but apparently it's kind of a big deal.
That's the problem. You don't know much about it. You get there, and people are like, "Where do I buy this wheelchair?"
Well, that's the good part. Is the guy that works with me, he's way smarter than me. He's already working on it. But I had two friends that are a lot cooler than me. They both called me and said, dude, you're on the front page of Reddit. I'm like, I know, what does that mean? It's friggin' huge. So
I hope you capitalize.
I hope we can maybe throw, we can get some shoemakers from Reddit. I don't
And
know.
we get some shoemakers, we get a movie screen, we get Waddy down here, we get John Stockton to sew his own shoe in public, and we're in business.
We are.
We'll go viral.
we're gonna have to have that news conference.
Hey, bringing that up, that's a great idea. We need to figure this out. We need to tell the people when we're going to go live with this. I mean, let's give it a couple. I mean, we got stuff going on. It's a busy month, but I think we need to schedule this conference, get the tarp up. We need to do this.
God Bless America's coming up pretty quick. I mean, I don't think that they're gonna have the hot dog eating contest. Maybe we need
I
to have
know.
one.
I'm not having one again. If you remember last year, if you go back in the archives, I thoroughly beat Adam in the hot dog eating contest and regretted it the rest of the night.
Well, I'm just, maybe we have an ice cream eating contest.
Again, you know I have problems with lactose.
I'm trying to, weigh the.
Why do we have to have a
here.
contest of eating?
Because this is what it is. That's what the Husky section does.
Well, if the whole Husky section's involved, maybe a pie eating contest.
A rhubarb pie eating contest.
Well, I'd say apple if you're gonna go for the Americana, but rhubarb's fine. Rhubarb strawberry.
Speaking of, we're going overtime, but I gotta pull this out.
Okay, all right. This better be worth it. Oh, what do you got? Oh my, a Kit Kat apple pie limited edition. Is that for personal consumption, or are you selling that on eBay?
Personal consumption right now. In fact, I think I'm gonna crack it open right here and have a little something.
Well, with that being said, there are two things that are important. Where did you get that at?
That smells good. I got it at Walmart.
Got it at Walmart. Two things in life that are for certain, Adam.
Well, Husky section's not going away. And there are two things that's certain. That would be DeathPiles.
And tax, that's my tasty.